Okay, so I've tried this numerous times, and it's like, I'm not going to do anything too fancy. I'm just going to play some really basic things for you. I could play something complicated, but it probably, because I would be playing it differently because of the different size of the guitars, it wouldn't really make sense. So here's some really basic stuff, just so you hear. I'm just literally going to go through, like, the chords. So... That's carbon. That's what carbon sounds like. This is cedar. Okay? Notice it sounds a little more dulled. I don't want to say dulled, but it sounds rounder. It sounds warmer and more, I don't know, circular. It's hard to explain. That sounds sharper. Carbon sounds sharp. It sounds very direct, if I were to explain it. Okay. What did I start on? A? You hear that? I don't know if that really registers, but that's like the Martin sound. Like that's what you get out of it. That's the Martin sound, right? That's the Neil Young Martin sound on a Martin. I don't even feel right leaning it against anything, even though it's like that's my couch Martin. Okay, now the same riff on this. You can tell it's obviously smaller and it doesn't boom as much, but it's more. It's hard to explain. You'd have to feel this guitar to understand like why I like it so much, because it really does sound great. It just sounds like a sharp mid-range laser beam. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a very sharp mid-range laser beam, but it still has the fullness of an acoustic in that. It's not like like the Martin. Like honestly, and I mean that in a good way, because the Martin has laminated back and sides. Well, actually, it's like Piva back and sides or something. It's like laminate flooring back and sides. So it sounds very boxy. The top, you can hear the voice of the top, like the Martin top, you can hear that. But it's being amplified by like a box, like a very synthetic box. Whereas this is a synthetic soundboard that's being amplified by a very organic box. They're like complete opposites, and they sound like complete opposites, which makes a lot of sense. This is trying to amplify a very stiff board that doesn't want to amplify, that doesn't want to vibrate very much through a wood box. So it's really pushing that carbon sound more than other carbon guitars that I've heard. And this has a wood sound. It takes that wood sound and just booms it out. But it's basically just that raw top of a Martin sound being pushed out with no coloring. That's the best way to explain the Martin DX1ARAE. It sounds really good. It's a great guitar. Probably the best guitar to buy, I would say. Because you get a Martin sound, but it's cheap. It's a cheap guitar, but it looks cool. It feels good in your hands. It's easy to play. It's heavy. It's actually very heavy for an acoustic guitar, but that's the only downside. It has electronics built in. It's great, and even the electronics sound, in my opinion, good. If you can't EQ this and sound good, that's on you. But yeah, Martin DX1 ARAE, I would recommend for about, what did I pay for that, $500? I'd recommend that over the carbon guitar. But depends. If you only have $300, I would just buy this and say screw it. I wish they made a bigger version of this, because I'd love to have 2 of these. I'd love to have 2 sizes of this. If Donner, if you're watching, make another size of this and give me a discount and I'll buy it. But the Cedar sounds much different. As you can tell, this guitar does not want to do what I'm doing with it. Actually, well, it does. It wants to do fingerstyle, but this Cedar guitar is like, it's not suitable for like bluegrass like that. It's not bright enough. It's very, I don't want to say dark, but it's like a dark warmness. That's what Cedar sounds like. It sounds like a classical guitar that's trying to be a steel string. That's really, if you've gone to classical before, if you've gone to Cedar classical before, you totally understand why I said that. It's easy to play, it plays great. It's very responsive, it's very fingerstyle-y. That's why I don't really understand a dreadnought with a Cedar top. I don't know why Alvarez did that. I love it. I love this guitar. I got a good deal on it used on Facebook Marketplace. But doesn't make sense. This guitar doesn't make sense. Cedar top dreadnoughts do not make sense. Seagull and other guitar companies that do that, I don't understand that. But that's what we got. Anyway. That's the thing about this blue mic too. This is a really good mic, the Blue Ember. If you can get one on Amazon for cheap, I recommend it. It's probably the best cheap mic on Amazon right now. Okay, I'll do the same thing with this. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, I'm probably gonna hang this up because it's just too cluttered, and I don't want to knock any of these over just for a test that I'm gonna get like 7 views on. No, I'm kidding. I don't care how many views I get on these. I do these for science. Like these are kind of for science for other acoustic guitars because I find that all the acoustic, well, not all. I find some great grassroots, like love the small creators out there. I don't hate the big creators, but it's like seriously. Like I don't know. I don't mean to be an ass, but it's like I just hate it. I don't like the fact that like there's a bit of content on on this carbon guitar. There's a bit of content out there on this, right? But it's like it's people who got it for free. Like I'm the only person who bought this who's talking about it. I think I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who bought this and I'm talking about it. Besides, there was one guy who seemed to do a pretty good rundown on it. There was one guy, maybe 2, but there was I think an independent guy or a guy who got the guitar free but gave a pretty. I don't know. There's things about this I'm gonna disclose in the next video because like there's a lot of things that you might have to worry about. Not serious things, but just things. I don't know. I'm gonna email Don or see if they can do. But anyway. I had to screw up that last bit just be. I'm really sorry. I didn't tune any of these first. I didn't. Sorry. Like that's a really stupid way to go about things. And what is this? I hate when I find the clip on without the tuner on it because it's like I have no idea where that tuner is. Love that guitar. It's really slinky, like for how big it is. I don't know what it is. It's really I find that guitar really easy to play. Even if I put mediums on it, which I don't know what's on it right now. I used to put mediums on everything now. I had to get conservational. I actually did this too. This is like hardcore MacGyver shit. I got all the medium strings on all the guitars, like because I have like 5, 6 acoustics. I took all the medium strings off the guitars that I had that were used. I took them off, boiled them, and put them on cheap small guitars that I had just bought because they didn't have mediums on them. But this guitar has Tommy Emmanuel mediums, which aren't really medium. Like I don't know if Tommy Emmanuel knows that 1254 is not medium. At least in my book, I don't consider that medium at all. That's light to me. That's not even medium light. That's actually light. Like you could call medium light 1352 or something, like where you just make the. Anyway. This is very responsive, but it's not as loud. It's not as projecting. So it's like that's kind of the trade-off. You don't get the projection, but you get the responsiveness. You get actually, I'd say, more responsiveness. Because the thing about this, and I think it's just the physics of the carbon, with carbon, you can apply more pressure to the top without it exploding. So like with a guitar like this, it's like every guitar is just relatively tuning against how much pull it's putting on the top. So the science behind making a carbon top guitar is actually brilliant because not only is it indestructible, it's impossible to make it bend as much as you would make a carbon or a wood guitar bend. And in fact, I've been staring this thing down to see any bellying, and it's just uncanny how flat. Like if you know acoustic guitars, you understand something that the tops of acoustic guitars, they always belly every time. Every acoustic guitar you will ever own will belly. this, maybe someday it just explodes in your face and kills you. But for the most part, this looks like the perfect, like, because it's like on the brink of blowing up on itself, but you're just playing on that tightrope. I don't know. I probably sound crazy right now. Sorry. Would you believe that I mean, I'm not trying to brag about this at all, because that sucked. But I learned that yesterday. I learned those chords 12 hours ago. Like, I've been playing acoustic guitar for 20 something years. I'd never attempted to play Moon River until yesterday, so I only know the basic skeleton of the song. That's why that sounds out bad. And why I don't know the song, like why it looks like I'm lost in the song, because I am. I actually am. I haven't even listened to it. And it's like, it blew me away how good that song is. I didn't know how good Moon River was. I'd never listened to it. Anyway. Sorry, that was so bad. That was really bad. And like I said, I don't really know that song. I can play that chord. I know. That is actually consideration. I should probably add that. I have long arms. Like, I'm not a huge person, but I have long, kind of strong arms. I'm just long armed. I just have really long limbs. And that is kind of a thing if you play a small guitar. That's something I always played big guitars, and I never thought like I should be playing big guitars because my arms are long. But I actually should be playing big guitars because my arms are long. And if you play small guitars, it actually does do something with your wrist where it's like there are things that you could normally, like on any other guitar I'm used to playing because my arms are long and my arm would be where it's supposed to be. And on a smaller guitar, because it's closer to your body, your arm is going to curl more, and like you should try to play it in a number of positions to get like this. It has to be a right knee guitar. This in classical position is it's too small for me. I don't usually play parlor guitars like this. I'll play them like, I don't know, maybe on my chest like this. It's not that bad if I'm like lying back, but it's like even then there's always something behind you. I don't know. If you guys play on the couch, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That is a weird. You can hear it. You can kind of hear it. That's what I kind of like about playing fingerstyle. I can tell when a guitar's messed up. So this has a bit of a high fret issue. I was going to make a whole other video about it, but I'll make another video. I'll just tease about it right now. It has really good frets as far as the rounding, but I can tell if I hold these. And it is nice how it's like so light I can do that. But I can tell if I hold these up to the light. Yeah. There's micro gaps. Like, it's not a huge problem. One thing I'm gonna have to do to this is, because it's carbon, like, and it's cheap enough that I would work on this myself. You gotta tap in all these frets. I gotta go through with my mallet. I got a mallet with lead pellets in it. Tap in the frets to make sure that they're all down, like bottomed out. And then once that happens, I have a feeling it actually probably is fine. It's a pretty good guitar. Here, I'll do another sound test just to play you out. That's the mess up on this guitar. Okay, I'm gonna hang this up because I gotta put all this away. So, you heard that on that guitar. Now on the Martin, right? Back a little closer. Give it a fair playing thing. It's actually not as loud. It's weird, but wood back and sides with carbon top is louder than solid Martin top with laminate back and sides. This is all solid. This guitar is all solid. This is easily the cheapest all solid I've ever owned by far. Okay, there's no comparison. This is like when I compared the carbon and the Martin, because these are more closer in price range. When I compared the carbon and the Martin, it really in person did not feel fair, because the Martin had so many. If you play a lot of like real acoustic, like solid wood acoustics, you notice there's a huge difference. They actually smell like wood. Like, they actually do smell distinctly, all different. Some of them smell a little like pine, some of them smell a little like chocolate. It's weird. But they all have fingerprints. Like, a solid wood guitar will sound very alive. Like, it's hard to explain, but it just has a lot of sub-harmonies in it that just does not exist in a laminated guitar. Or even a solid guitar that's got a little too much gloss coat on it will lose a lot of those frequencies, just soaks them up. But solid wood guitars don't really do that. It's like all solid. Solid back and side, solid top, solid neck. Which obviously the neck's going to be solid, but it's unfair. Like, I'll be honest with you, the carbon guitar is really nice. I would personally recommend it over anything in the $300 range, but if you wanted to, and this is kind of the point of this video, if you were wanting to be a little savvier shopper, I would maybe start. This would be the perfect guitar to start on for a small, like anybody of any size, because you wouldn't have to worry about it, like the action being way higher on a day in December because you left it near a heater. None of that crap. But outside of that consideration, one of the reasons I would say this is a great starter guitar, but it's like this guitar Canadian is $350 on Amazon. I think there's a coupon. I'm not trying to advertise for them though. So, really, what I would say is if you were going to spend $350 on this, after tax would be about 400. If you can find, like, I got this for around 500. If you can find a solid wood guitar used for 500 bucks, I would take that 100% of the time. Look for an Alvarez MD60, look for an Epiphone Master Built. Like I saw one for 300 the other day. And that's kind of the thing. I would take a Master Built DR400 over a 20-year-old beat up Epiphone solid over a carbon guitar. Any carbon guitar. Rain Song, I would take a solid wood beat up guitar over a Rain Song. Because if it's beat up, I don't mind shaving a bridge down. I don't mind Frankensteining it. I don't mind putting a bridge doctor in myself that I bought on Amazon for $5. You know what I mean? That's kind of the thing. I'll do luthier work myself if I bought the guitar for nothing. So I'm not gonna work on a $2,800 Martin, but like, or anything higher than that. But anything below that point, I don't care. I drilled holes in this. I drilled holes in this. I drilled holes in that. I changed the tuners and everything. Anyway, long story short, that's a great guitar. It does not need any upgrades. Does not need new tuners. Although you kind of have to change the tuners on this thing. You have to put open gear. Really small tuners. I'd recommend the $20 Golden Gates that you can get by online. But yeah, you got to put light open gear tuners, the smallest, cheapest tuners that will fit in this thing that come with bushings. Make sure they come with bushings. But yeah, that's the end of my rant. I'm not going to try and make this too long, but I am trying to make this one long, unedited play review kind of thing so that I can just bang this out, because I really wanted to show people the difference between a bunch of guitars in the same price range, even though it's not just Martin, it's Martin, Alvarez, and Donner. They shouldn't be competing with each other, honestly, in my opinion. Alvarez all the way. Martin, if you're going to spend money. If money is no object, Martin is 100% of the time. If money is an object, Alvarez 100% of the time. If you're a beginner, I'd still say Alvarez. But if you're a beginner and your price ceiling is $400, nothing beats this. Nothing beats this. Unless you can find a used solid wood guitar for under $400 in classified ads, which I could, if you're in Toronto, I could tag you, show you a couple right now. But yeah, that's it.